High Admiral Vexther of the Zendari Empire stood motionless on the command deck of his flagship, the Eternal Dawn, his silver-scaled hands clasped behind his back as he studied the tactical display. The small human vessel that had appeared at the edge of the Arcturus sector shouldn't have concerned him. After all, the Zendari Empire had conquered 32 star systems in the past solar cycle alone, their biomechanical ships far superior to anything the younger races could field. But something was wrong. The vessel, designated HMS Thunderbolt according to their broadcasts, had just shrugged off a direct hit from the Dawn's primary particle cannon. Not deflected, not dispersed, absorbed. The energy readings made no sense. "Impossible," Lieutenant Kraz muttered from his station, his facial tendrils twitching in agitation. "Their hull composition, it's like nothing in our database. The energy signature is shifting." Captain Diana Novak allowed herself a small smile as she watched the Zendari dreadnought's futile attacks from the Thunderbolt's bridge. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, carefully maintaining the facade of a relatively primitive spacefaring civilization, while their quantum engineers worked in secret beneath the ice sheets of Europa. "Status of the Nexus core?" she asked, her dark eyes fixed on the massive enemy vessel. Commander Marcus Chen glanced up from his neural interface station. "Operating at 98% efficiency, Captain. The quantum field is stable, and energy absorption rates are exceeding projections. Their weapons are actually making us stronger." The Thunderbolt represented humanity's greatest achievement, a vessel powered by technology that the Zendari, for all their supposed superiority, hadn't even theorized possible. The ship's Nexus core didn't just deflect enemy fire. It captured the energy, quantum-locked it, and fed it back into their systems. High Admiral Vexther's composure cracked as his tactical officer reported the impossible readings. The human vessel was growing stronger with each attack. His mighty dreadnought, pride of the Zendari fleet, was effectively feeding energy to an enemy that shouldn't even exist. "Launch the biomech swarms," he ordered, his voice carrying the first hints of uncertainty any of his crew had ever heard. Thousands of self-replicating hunter-killer drones poured from the Eternal Dawn's launch bays, their neural networks coordinating in patterns that had overwhelmed countless civilizations. "Right on schedule," Diana murmured. "Lieutenant Harrison, deploy the Fireflies." From the Thunderbolt's quantum-shifted hull plates emerged countless pinpoints of light, each no bigger than a human thumb. The Zendari swarms approached, their adaptive algorithms preparing to analyze and counter any defense the primitive humans might mount. They never stood a chance. The Fireflies, quantum-entangled nano-drones guided by fifth-generation AI, moved in ways that defied conventional physics. They didn't just destroy the Zendari swarms, they assimilated them, their advanced programming rewriting the alien tech from within. High Admiral Vexther watched in horror as his biomech swarms turned against his own ship, their corruption spreading faster than the safety protocols could respond. "How?" he demanded of no one in particular. Their artificial intelligence capabilities were assessed as barely beyond basic automation. The answer came in the form of a transmission from the Thunderbolt. Captain Novik's image appeared on the Eternal Dawn's main display, her expression professional, but carrying an unmistakable hint of satisfaction. "High Admiral," she began, "I believe it's time we had an honest conversation about humanity's place in the galaxy. We've watched your empire expand, studied your technology, and prepared accordingly. What you're witnessing isn't just a warship, it's a statement. Humanity will not be conquered." As if to emphasize her point, the Thunderbolt began to shift, its quantum field manipulating local spacetime in ways the Zendari sensors couldn't comprehend. Where there had been one vessel, phantom images now multiplied across space, each as solid and real as the original. "Quantum superposition on a macroscopic scale," Commander Chen reported with pride. "The Zendari are targeting our echoes while we position for the final demonstration." Diana nodded, knowing that this moment would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity had hidden their true capabilities for generations, letting potential adversaries underestimate them while they prepared defenses that bordered on the impossible. "High Admiral," she addressed Vexter again, "your empire has a choice to make. You can retreat, reassess your understanding of humanity, and perhaps open diplomatic channels for peaceful cooperation. Or," she let the alternative hang in the air as the Thunderbolt's weapon systems, now charged with the absorbed energy of the Zendari's own attacks, hummed to life. Vexter, faced with technology that contradicted everything he thought he knew about the natural order of technological progression, made the first wise decision of the encounter. "Stand down all weapons," he ordered his crew. "Open a diplomatic channel." As the tension of imminent battle faded into the possibility of dialogue, Diana allowed herself to reflect on the years of preparation that had led to this moment. Humanity had achieved what no other species thought possible. They had hidden their true capabilities in plain sight, advanced beyond normal technological curves, and emerged not as conquerors, but as guardians of their own destiny. The HMS Thunderbolt hung in space, a testament to human ingenuity and determination, while the mighty Eternal Dawn powered down its weapons. The future of galactic relations was about to change forever, and humanity would face it not as primitive newcomers, but as equals who had earned their place among the stars. Beneath the frozen surface of Europa, 3 kilometers below the eternal ice, Dr. James Rodriguez stood in the heart of Project Ghost's Central Command. Holographic displays filled the cavernous chamber, each showing real-time data from the confrontation between the HMS Thunderbolt and the Zendari flagship. His life's work was finally being put to the test. "The quantum field harmonics are holding perfectly," announced Dr. Olivia Winter, her fingers dancing across neural interfaces as she monitored the Thunderbolt's performance. 20 years of preparation, and she's exceeding every projection we made." The facility around them represented humanity's greatest secret, an underground laboratory complex where the boundaries of physics were pushed beyond what any alien civilization believed possible. The walls pulsed with the soft blue glow of quantum containment fields, while teams of scientists and engineers monitored humanity's hidden fleet. Admiral Thomas Fletcher entered the command center, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. "The Zendari diplomatic channel is open. Captain Novik is proceeding exactly as planned. It's time to initiate Phase 2 of the Ghost Protocol." James nodded, remembering the day 30 years ago when everything changed. He had been a young physicist then, part of a deep-ice drilling team on Europa when they discovered the quantum anomaly. Not a crashed ship or alien artifacts like so many had theorized, but something far more significant, a natural phenomenon that defied known physics. "Director Wei, begin the global revelation sequence," Admiral Fletcher commanded. On the other side of the command center, Director Michelle Wei activated a series of commands that would change humanity's perceived position in the galaxy forever. Across the solar system, hidden installations began powering up. Quantum fields that had masked humanity's true technological progress for decades started to dissolve in a carefully choreographed sequence. In orbit around Mars, massive shipyards previously hidden by quantum displacement fields shimmered into view. Around Venus, defense platforms that could reshape local spacetime itself became visible to conventional sensors. And in the asteroid belt, hundreds of automated manufacturing facilities revealed themselves, each capable of producing vessels as advanced as the Thunderbolt. On the Eternal Dawn, High Admiral Vexter received the sensor data with increasing disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered, watching as human installations appeared throughout their solar system. "Their entire civilization, it was all a deception." Lieutenant Kraz's facial tendrils writhed in agitation. "The energy signatures, High Admiral, they're identical to the Thunderbolts. These facilities, they've been here all along, we just couldn't see them." Back in Europa Command, Dr. Rodriguez pulled up the historical archives, decades of carefully managed technological revelations designed to make humanity appear less advanced than they truly were. Every breakthrough had been carefully calculated. Every new technology revealed at precisely the right moment to maintain the illusion of a young, still developing species. The Ghost Protocol was never just about hiding our capabilities. Admiral Fletcher explained to the assembled staff. It was about understanding our potential adversaries. Every probe they sent, every scan they performed, taught us more about their technological limitations. We didn't just hide, we learned. On the main display, Captain Novik's diplomatic exchange with the Zendari continued. Director Wei's voice carried a note of pride as she reported, "The quantum field network is fully visible. All defensive installations are operational. The Zendari are receiving the full tactical picture now." Dr. Winter's monitoring systems showed the reactions of the Zendari sensors as they attempted to process the scale of human advancement. "Their quantum analysis algorithms are failing completely," she noted. "They literally cannot comprehend how we managed this level of technological development without detection." James moved to a secondary console, bringing up the specifications for the Thunderbolt's Nexus core. "We didn't just advance our technology," he explained to a group of junior scientists. "We developed it along completely different lines than any other known civilization. While they focused on manipulating existing physics, we learned to work between the spaces of conventional reality." The quantum anomaly they discovered on Europa had shown them possibilities that no other species had conceived. Instead of building bigger engines or more powerful weapons, humanity had learned to slip between the moments of time itself, to exist in multiple states simultaneously, to draw power from the quantum foam between spaces. Admiral Fletcher watched as more data poured in from the Zendari fleet. Their sensors were detecting the full scope of human technological achievement for the first time, and the impact was exactly as planned. "Send word to all Ghost Protocol installations," he ordered. "Begin full spectrum revelation. It's time to show them everything." Across the solar system, humanity's hidden strength emerged from decades of careful concealment. Quantum ships shifted into normal space, defense platforms activated their full capabilities, and the true face of human technological achievement stood revealed. In Europa Command, Dr. Rodriguez allowed himself a moment of reflection. The Ghost Protocol had worked perfectly. Humanity had developed in secret, protected by their ability to manipulate reality in ways other species hadn't imagined possible. Now, as the Zendari confronted the truth, the balance of power in the galaxy would shift irrevocably. "All those years of hiding, of careful misdirection," he mused, watching the reactions of the Zendari fleet. "We never wanted to conquer or dominate. We just wanted to ensure that when humanity finally revealed itself to the galaxy, we would do so from a position of unassailable strength." The future was about to change, and humanity was ready. The Ghost Protocol had served its purpose, and a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. The quantum sensors aboard the HMS Thunderbolt detected them first, 300 Zendari warships emerging from hyperspace near Proxima Centauri. Despite the diplomatic channel established with High Admiral Vexther, the Zendari Empire's War Council had made their decision. They would not accept humanity's sudden revelation of power. They would not risk allowing such an advanced civilization to exist unchallenged. Captain Diana Novik received the tactical update with cold composure. "They never could resist trying to maintain their dominance," she transmitted to Europa Command. "Initiating Battle Protocol Omega." Commander Marcus Chen's hands flew across his neural interface. "Multiple hostile signatures detected. They've brought their entire Third Fleet. Quantum field analysis suggests they've modified their weapons based on their encounter with us." In Europa Command, Admiral Fletcher watched the tactical display with grim determination. "Deploy the Ghost Fleet. All ships execute emergence pattern Delta." Across the Proxima Centauri system, space itself seemed to ripple and tear. Where there had been empty void, 40 human warships materialized, vessels that had been there all along, hidden in quantum sewer position. Each was a sister ship to the Thunderbolt, each powered by a Nexus core, each crewed by humans who had trained for years in secret for this moment. "This is Captain Regina Blackwood of the HMS Stormbreaker," a new voice announced on the fleet channel. "Ghost Fleet is operational and awaiting orders." High Admiral Vexther, now aboard the Zendari super dreadnought Immortal Virtue, felt his scales bristle as the human fleet revealed itself. "By the first egg," he whispered. "How many more surprises do they harbor?" The Zendari fleet advanced in their traditional crescent formation, their biomechanical ships pulsing with enhanced energy weapons designed to counter the humans' quantum technology. They had analyzed the data from their first encounter and adapted, or so they believed. "All Ghost Fleet vessels implement quantum dance protocols," Novak commanded. The human ships began to move in ways that defied conventional space warfare tactics. Instead of maintaining fixed formations, they shifted in and out of normal space, appearing to be in multiple locations simultaneously. Lieutenant Harrison's voice was steady as he reported, "Firefly swarms are ready for deployment. Quantum entanglement networks are synchronized across all vessels." The battle erupted with an intensity that would be remembered for centuries. The Zendari launched their first strike, a coordinated barrage of modified particle beams and plasma torpedoes. But the human ships didn't just evade. They ceased to exist in normal spacetime moments before impact, only to reappear in tactically superior positions. "Show them what we can really do," Novak ordered. "Release the Fireflies." From every human ship, clouds of quantum-enhanced nano-drones emerged. Unlike in the first encounter, these Fireflies demonstrated capabilities that the Zendari hadn't witnessed before. They didn't just assimilate enemy technology, they began to alter local spacetime around the Zendari vessels. Dr. Rodriguez's voice came through on the command channel from Europa. "The Fireflies are implementing the quantum isolation protocols perfectly. Each affected Zendari ship is being sealed in its own temporal bubble." Across the battlefield, Zendari warships found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to break every law of physics they understood. Human vessels appeared to predict their attacks before they were launched. Quantum fields redirected their most powerful weapons back at them, and space itself seemed to fight on humanity's behalf. "Status of the Nexus core network," Novak demanded as the Thunderbolt phased through a barrage of Zendari fire. "All cores are in perfect synchronization," Chen reported. "Ready to implement the Chronos protocol on your command." Admiral Fletcher's voice cut through the tactical chatter. "Captain Novak, you have authorization. Show them why humanity chose to hide its strength for so long." Diana took a deep breath. This would be the first full-scale demonstration of humanity's most advanced quantum technology. "All Ghost Fleet vessels synchronize Nexus cores. Prepare to initiate the Chronos protocol." The 40 human ships moved into a complex geometric formation, their Nexus cores linking through quantum entanglement. Energy began to flow between them, creating patterns in spacetime that the Zendari sensors couldn't even detect, let alone understand. "Chronos protocol engaged," Novak announced. Time itself seemed to fragment around the Zendari fleet. Ships that had been attacking found themselves responding to threats that hadn't yet materialized. Weapons fired at targets that had already moved. The perfectly coordinated Zendari battle group descended into chaos as their perception of temporal causality broke down. High Admiral Vexther watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by an enemy that seemed to command the fundamental forces of reality itself. "All vessels, full retreat," he ordered. "Break off engagement." But retreat wasn't as simple as it should have been. The human fleet had created a quantum maze around the battlefield, turning space itself into a weapon. It took precious minutes for the Zendari to plot safe vectors out of the affected space, minutes during which their ships were systematically disabled by precisely targeted Firefly swarms. When the battle ended, not a single ship had been destroyed on either side. But the Zendari Third Fleet had been completely neutralized, their weapons and propulsion systems reconfigured by quantum-shifted Fireflies, their crews trapped in temporal bubbles that would only be released once terms of surrender were accepted. Captain Novak opened a channel to the immortal virtue. "High Admiral, shall we discuss those diplomatic options again? This time, perhaps, with a better understanding of why humanity chose to hide its true nature for so long." The Battle of Proxima Gate would go down in galactic history not as a slaughter, but as the day humanity demonstrated why they had concealed their power. not out of fear or weakness, but out of a desire to avoid unnecessary conflict. They had revealed themselves not as conquerors, but as guardians of a peace built on unprecedented technological superiority and the aftermath of the Battle of Proxima Gate. The Zendari High Council gathered in their sacred chamber of contemplation on their homeworld, Zendar Prime. The massive crystalline chamber, designed to enhance cognitive function through carefully tuned quantum resonances, hummed with an unusual frequency: fear. Supreme Counselor Nyxis, her iridescent scales dulled with stress, studied the holographic recreation of the battle for the 100th time. Our entire understanding of technological progression, it was fundamentally flawed. The doors to the chamber parted, admitting High Admiral Vexther. His once-proud bearing was tempered now with humility as he approached the council. Behind him walked Dr. James Rodriguez and Captain Diana Novik, the first humans ever to set foot in the sacred chamber. "Honorable Council," Vexther began, "I present representatives of the Human Quantum Initiative. They have agreed to explain, to help us understand." Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, carrying a small device that pulsed with familiar quantum energies. "What you're feeling in this chamber," he said, "the quantum resonances you use to enhance your cognitive abilities. We discovered similar phenomena on Europa decades ago. But we saw something you didn't." He activated the device, and suddenly the chamber's resonance changed. The holographic battle replay shifted, revealing layers of reality the Zendari had never perceived. They could see now how the human ships had existed in multiple states simultaneously, how they had woven the fabric of spacetime itself into their defense strategy. "Your civilization advanced along a linear path," Novik explained. "Each technological breakthrough building on the last, following predictable patterns. We chose a different approach. When we found the quantum anomaly, we didn't just study it, we learned to think like it." In orbit above Zendar Prime, the HMS Thunderbolt maintained its position alongside the remaining Zendari defense fleet. Commander Chen coordinated with the newly arrived Human Diplomatic Corps, sharing carefully selected insights about human quantum technology. Back in the Chamber of Contemplation, Dr. Rodriguez continued his explanation. "Your sensors didn't detect our advancements because you were looking for energy signatures, material development, radiation patterns. We weren't hiding in subspace or behind shields. We were hiding between the moments of your observations." Supreme Counselor Nyxis leaned forward. "The quantum anomaly you speak of. We have detected similar phenomena across the galaxy. We classified them as natural curiosities, gravitational aberrations." "Precisely," Rodriguez smiled. "Because that's what your technological development led you to conclude. But we approached them with fewer preconceptions. We didn't try to explain them with existing physics. We let them teach us new physics entirely." The chamber's holographic display shifted again, showing the network of quantum technology that humanity had built throughout their solar system. The Zendari counselors watched in amazement as layers of reality peeled away, revealing the true extent of human advancement. "Your defensive installations," one counselor observed, "they're not just cloaked or hidden there. Existing in quantum superposition," Novik finished. "Present and not present simultaneously, real and unreal until observed in specific ways. We didn't build bigger weapons or stronger shields. We learned to exist in the spaces between conventional reality." In Europa Command, Admiral Fletcher watched the diplomatic feed with satisfaction. Across the chamber, Director Wei's teams monitored the careful revelation of human capabilities to the Zendari. They had planned this moment for decades, the gradual awakening of other civilizations to humanity's true nature. "The Ghost Protocol was never about deception," Rodriguez explained to the Council. "It was about preparation. We knew that once we revealed ourselves, the galaxy would change forever. We needed to ensure we could maintain peace through that transition." High Admiral Vexther stepped forward again. "The Battle of Proxima Gate, you could have destroyed our fleet. Instead, you chose to demonstrate and disable. Why?" Captain Novik's expression softened slightly. "Because that's not who we are. Humanity didn't develop this technology to conquer or dominate. We developed it to protect, to preserve, to prevent unnecessary conflict. Your fleet is already being restored to functionality, though some of our quantum innovations have been carefully removed. The council chamber fell silent as the implications settled over the assembled Zendari leadership. Their civilization, which had seen itself as the pinnacle of technological achievement, had been operating on a fundamentally limited understanding of reality itself. "We offer partnership," Rodriguez said into the silence. "Not submission, not subjugation, but genuine collaboration. Humanity has learned to perceive reality in ways your civilization hasn't explored. We're willing to share some of that knowledge to help guide your development along new paths." Supreme Counselor Nyxis rose, her scales shifting to the deep blue of formal declaration. "The Zendari Empire has never accepted guidance from younger races," she began, then paused. "But perhaps that is precisely why we failed to see what humanity became. We accept your offer with humility and hope." As the formal acceptance was recorded, Captain Novik sent a private message to Europa Command. "Phase 4 complete. The awakening was successful. Prepare for final protocol implementation." The galaxy was changing, and humanity's hidden strength would help guide that change not through force, but through understanding. The war that never had to happen was over, and a new era of quantum enlightenment was about to begin. 1 year after the Battle of Proxima Gate, the great shipyards of Europa had been transformed. Where once secret quantum vessels were constructed in carefully hidden spaces, now teams of human and Zendari engineers worked side by side, sharing knowledge that would reshape galactic civilization. Captain Diana Novik stood at the observation deck of the newly commissioned Unity Station, watching as the HMS Thunderbolt underwent its final refit. The legendary vessel that had changed the course of history was being transformed into something new, a symbol of cooperation rather than confrontation. "The quantum harmonization arrays are integrating perfectly with Zendari biomechanical systems," Dr. Rodriguez reported, joining her at the window. "Something we never thought possible a year ago." Below them, in Unity Station's vast diplomatic chamber, Admiral Fletcher and High Admiral Vexther co-chaired the first meeting of the Galactic Quantum Development Council. Representatives from 12 spacefaring civilizations had gathered to discuss humanity's controlled release of quantum technology. "The transition protocols are proceeding exactly as planned," Commander Chen's voice came through on Novik's neural link. "The first wave of quantum awareness has reached the Orion Arm civilizations. Their responses are enthusiastic." In the station's quantum physics lab, Dr. Winter worked alongside Zendari scientist-engineer Kraz, who had requested reassignment to the Joint Development Program. Their current project, teaching other species how to perceive quantum anomalies, was showing remarkable progress. "It's not just about the technology," Winter explained to a group of alien observers. "It's about learning to see reality differently. The quantum universe was always there. Humanity simply learned to look for it in ways others hadn't considered." Director Wei's hologram appeared in the observation deck. "The Ghost Protocol is now fully deactivated across all human space. Our true defensive capabilities are visible to all registered Allied sensors. The era of hiding is officially over." Novik nodded, remembering the long years of preparation, the careful dance of concealment and revelation. "And the Nexus Core production facilities operating at full capacity," Wei confirmed. "The first batch of quantum-enhanced ships for our allies will be ready for trials next month, each carefully calibrated to their level of quantum understanding, of course." In the diplomatic chamber, Supreme Counselor Nyxis addressed the assembled representatives. "The Zendari Empire spent centuries believing we had reached the pinnacle of technological achievement. Humanity showed us how limited our vision had become. Today, we take another step toward a broader understanding of reality itself." The main viewing screen activated, showing real-time feeds from across the galaxy. Quantum engineering academies being established on dozens of worlds. Joint human-alien research teams studying newly discovered quantum anomalies. Defense fleets being gradually upgraded with carefully monitored quantum enhancements. The fireflies have evolved beyond our original design, Rodriguez noted, watching swarms of the quantum nanodrones assist in the construction of new orbital facilities. They're becoming a bridge between conventional and quantum engineering. Even we didn't predict that development. Captain Regina Blackwood's voice came through the station's command channel. Ghost Fleet redeployment is complete. All vessels have been converted to their new roles as exploration and emergency response ships. The Stormbreaker is ready to lead the first joint species quantum exploration mission beyond known space. In her private quarters on Unity Station, Novak reviewed the final status reports from Earth's quantum defense grid. The network had been partially revealed to their allies, showing enough to demonstrate humanity's protective capabilities while maintaining certain critical advantages in reserve. Trust was important, but wisdom demanded maintaining the ability to protect peace if necessary. Message from Europa Command, Chen announced. The first quantum gateway is ready for testing. If it works, we'll be able to establish instant communication and transport across the entire galaxy. Novak smiled. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't developing quantum technology, she mused. It was knowing when and how to share it. High Admiral Vexter approached her quarters, his presence announced by the station's AI. When she admitted him, his bearing was far different from their first encounter a year ago. "Captain," he said, "the Joint Fleet exercises are showing remarkable results. Our civilizations are learning to work together in ways I never imagined possible." "That was always the goal," she replied. "Not to dominate, but to elevate, to help all spacefaring species see the quantum reality we discovered, to turn potential adversaries into partners in exploration." The station's quantum sensors registered a new anomaly far beyond charted space. Unlike the natural phenomena they had studied before, this one showed signs of artificial origin. Humanity's decision to share their quantum vision with other species had come just in time. Something was stirring in the depths of space, something that would require the united efforts of all civilizations to understand. As alerts sounded throughout Unity Station, Captain Novak allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The warship that shouldn't have existed had led to a future that few could have imagined. Humanity had hidden its strength not out of fear, but out of wisdom, emerging at precisely the right moment to guide the galaxy toward a new age of quantum enlightenment. The next great adventure was about to begin, and this time humanity wouldn't face it alone.